So I guess anybody could just have a statue outside of the cryptocurrency arena. Anybody? 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 Yeah, I don't understand. You win one championship, you can have it. Why doesn't Robert Ory get it? Okay. Am I wrong here, coach? Am I wrong here, coach? You tell me. Exactly. Anyway, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you right now. Just know that you are locked in onto the point with the king. You guys can find us everywhere on social media. You know, if you don't want to see these lovely faces, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, so you can listen, or you can go Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, which is hopefully where you're watching us, and click that, hook a brother up, click subscribe. And if you enjoy it, especially my man right here, and you enjoy our content, click that bell so you know when we come up. And thank you for enjoying our fantastic guests, especially my man right here, the one and only, the coach from the East Coast, the one and only Tim Roache. How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good, man. Enjoying the summer and getting ready for NBA basketball. Maybe some more Rico Hines runs.
Ooh, 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 ooh. We should do a video on that one. But today you're
Once they
here.
start.
Yeah, once it starts. But the reason why I asked you to come back on today is because we wanted to complete the trilogy of the Raptors off-season acquisitions. We started with McDaniels, we went to Schroeder, and now let's get to who? Marquis Nowell? Now, he's he's pretty good. I like him. But coach, can you tell us who he is first, please?
5'7" point guard out of Kansas State. Born Christmas Day, which is pretty cool because I'm born on Christmas Eve. So another point for the short kings out there and stuff like that. But yeah, point guard. He's going to be 24 years old Christmas Day. Those who watched the NCAA tournament last year, Marquis Nowell had some memorable plays for Kansas State. I remember there was a play, it looked like he was arguing with his coach, and everything was chaotic on offense, and then he just threw an alley-oop up to someone, and it just totally confused the defense. I think this is a guy with a high offensive IQ for the game of basketball. And there's so many things that at his size that he has to be elite at, especially in college, but more so the NBA. So, this is a guy I'm glad the Raptors are going to take a chance on him, and I can see him probably playing more so in the G League this year. And, for some of my 905 friends out there, I know they have said, he'll be exciting to watch for sure.
You know what? Thank you for explaining to who he is, but his background, I totally enjoy. He's my height. He's a lot heavier than I am, but for what he can provide and what he can produce, I think there is a reason why Masai and Bobby looked into acquiring him, right? I think the Raptors can use that, and I think you hit on why they hit him. I think you just did that with putting him into the 905 system, right? And possibly having him like ascend to a point where he can be a tradable asset at some point, or maybe coming in to fill that Fred VanVleet role at some point. You know what I mean? Like, even though he is a two guard, I get it. That's totally fine. But now my question to you, Coach, is why did the Raptors acquire him?
I think with the loss of Fred and the lack of guard depth, maybe at the 905, because I think they were probably thinking at the time that Jeff Dowtin's going to be on the big team. And it's like, well, who are we going to replace him with? Who is a guy that maybe gets overlooked? I can tell you, if you are 5'7", you're going to get overlooked. That's just kind of the nature of the NBA. If everybody wants a 6'2" or 6'3" or 6'4" point guard. And that goes it back to even when I was at college basketball as well. Everybody's looking for one. Everybody wants one. But with Marquis, I think they probably looked at their guard depth, and it's the 905 depth in general has not really been as strong as it has been in years past. So I think they look at a guy like Marquis, wanting to give him a chance. This is a guy who, like Fred, has just bet on himself. Except he's about 5 or 6 inches shorter than Fred. So his whole life, more or less, he's had to play against guys 6 feet, 6'5", 6'10", and he's had some pretty good success in doing so. He's had some pretty good success in doing so. And just from what we all saw in the NCAA tournament, how someone at that height is able to control the tempo of the game for his team, how he could be a threat to score. But the gift for him is passing, and boy, is he good at it.
Real? What? Oh, wait, what? Okay. Holy shit! You just hit me there, bro. I gotta ask you now. How does he fit into the Raptors roster, or possibly the 905? Because you just nailed it with the passing. The passing I've seen, amazing, beautiful. Can't even complain about it. It's like second to none. I think it's absolutely mixed. But can you further expand on that one for me?
How he fits into the Raptors, I think we'll see him in preseason. A fair amount. Like, everybody more or less will play in preseason, get some minutes. So he'll get some time with the NBA club that way. He'll play with all kinds of different players. I do think once the season starts, he will be sent to the 905. With the Garrett Temple signing and just the depth that the Raptors already have, with assuming Scotty's at point and Schroeder and Malachi, I just don't think there's a place for him right now on the big club. But I think a development year for him at the 905, where he's going to get a ton of minutes. I mean, last year at Kansas State, I'm just looking at it, he played 37 minutes per game. And in college basketball,
in Kansas.
Yeah, I mean, you got 40 minutes to play, so he had his own Pascal Siakam year where he just played every minute of every game, and he did everything for that.
Yeah, he got run to the ground, but
he got run to the ground. Hopefully, his knees are all right. All right.
But at that age, at his age, that's pretty acceptable.
Yeah.
Man, man.
I think he'll be starting point guard. Or maybe him, if that goes back to the 905, maybe they start them both. But I would really prioritize them playing him a lot of minutes, because he's exciting to watch. Remember in the summer league, like some of the high pick and rolls he had with Moses Brown, or him in transition, making some of those behind the back passes. Like, this guy he's exciting to watch for sure. He's going to have limitations, though, as it's tough being 5'7", whether it's the G League or NBA. It's going to be tough for him.
He's actually 5'8".
5'8", is it? Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, there's not a ton of history of 5'8" guards. Now there are like Muggsy, and Earl Boykins and Spud Webb. Spud
Bud.
Webb was
Yeah.
super athletic, Muggsy super skilled, Earl Boykins super fast. It's like, what's going to be Marquis' specialized skill? And out of all those guys, his gift might be passing. The way that he's able to find guys and stuff like that. It's very intriguing to see.
You know what? You actually just said it because you and I, as both uh, former coaches, right? But we've also played, right? Like myself being at 5'8", playing against guys that are like 6'10", 7 feet tall. You know what I mean? The only thing I could do to them is pass at try to pass at an elite level, like run the pick and rolls, like just pass. Don't even bother shooting. And I think that's maybe one thing he can offer to the Raptors, but I'm trying to digest. Sorry, I got the hiccups, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm trying to digest about what he can actually do if he makes it to the big club. Like what, like other than passing, like is that his only ask? Is that the only thing he can
I
do?
I think his range is going to be key as well, as we saw in summer league. Like he was hitting some like Dame Lillard Curry range threes for the Raptors. So I think the 3-point line in the NBA is roughly 22 to 23 feet away. Like he's going to
22 to
have to stretch,
26.
right? And he's going to have to be stretching the floor like you're looking at 28 to 30 feet probably. Um, Someone at that size, it's tough to get into the paint when you're going up against guys who are 6'10", 7 feet at that size. So he's really going to have to pick and choose the openings on where he can play. So if he's got an open three, he's got to take him. And another specialized skill along with passing for him to remain in the NBA, he's got to shoot between 36 and 40% at least from three. If he's like 30, 32%, it's not going to work. Being at that size, having more specialized skills, it's going to help him. The passing, the shooting, defensively, he's going to be a bit of a liability defensively because of his size, but individually, but maybe on help defense because he's so aware, he probably would be pretty good in that regards.
I like that. I like what you just said there. Now, with him being acquired, we'll do this. We'll save this one for another day about the Raptors roster. I think we've spoken this to nauseum, but we will get in depth with that one at another day. But now the Raptors got Garrett Temple. Now, can you tell me? Let's solidify this. Who and why did they get him?
Well, my guess is why they got him is for one, well, he was available, and they probably see another spot to give to a veteran on this team. Um, Me
More
personally,
leadership.
more leadership. I was not a fan of this signing. I just don't see how it makes any sense. I would, I was more, I want to leave that spot open for a guy like Jeff Dowtin, as they've said, like we kind of want to invest in him a bit more.
Yes.
So I would want to take someone who might offer me more just because of age and stuff like that, and maybe from a positional standpoint as well. But I think this is going to be just another vet. He is a fairly good shooter. I mean, last year he shot 42% from three, but mind you, that was only a one 3-point attempt. But for his career, he shoots about 35% from three. So
Yeah, he's pretty
um,
solid. Yeah.
he's pretty solid from three. So, once again, I think this is just a veteran signing. I think having Thad, Otto, certainly it doesn't hurt to have veterans when you have some younger guys. And I say, like, a guy like Grady Dick could benefit from a vet like Garrett Temple. A guy like um, Malachi or Gary. I'll say even Scotty too, because Scotty's only 22 and stuff like
I
that.
know, right? But we all think
Um,
he's a grown man. Go on.
yeah. So more vets you have when you have a younger team, you just it they can show you about how to be professional. And I
Yes.
kind of wonder if last year they wanted to ideally have another vet on the team. Thad had a big role in being that vet on the team. And now you've got two guys who can kind of, you got two guys talking at you versus one guy, that kind of thing. So I think just from his experiences in the NBA, he knows he's the 15th man on the team or 14th man, stuff like that.
He knows he
But
ain't gonna play. Yeah.
yeah, and it's going to be tough because the Raptors, when you look at them, when you look at their team in general, they get 11 or 12 guys, and you're kind of wondering who's out in the rotation. Some a pretty good players probably going to be out. So
You
with
know
a guy
what?
like Garrett Temple and Thad, you don't have to worry about them.
You know what, Coach? We can do an episode about that one, going through the whole roster. I would love to do that with you, just from a coaching standpoint.
Let's do that. Kind of like what the bench rotation is going to look like.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because I'm all about the bench. But what would you? Okay, so where would you grade them getting Nowell? What would you grade that one? And where would you grade the Temple?
I think with Marquis, I think he's going to be mainly the 905. I want to give him a chance. Look, I'll give it like a C plus or a B minus. I think it's good that they're going to give him an opportunity, see what he can do. He's exciting to watch, man, on offense. The way that he finds guys, the range. There could be some limitations there, but I think the 905 crowd's going to have some exciting games with him at the helm.
Yeah, let's go to Mississauga and watch the game. But what do you think about Temple?
Temple, I'm not a huge fan of the move. Like, I'll give it like a C minus or whatever. I don't know if I'm being kind or not, but
oh, you're being way too kind.
am I doing way too? Okay, maybe I'll give it like a D minus then, because I would have rather had that for down, because I think this team is not as young as what people may think it is. We have some younger players, but I mean, our core outside of Scotty, it's basically over 25. Right? It's not like we have a bunch of like 20 and 21-year-olds.
Precious can kick it.
Hell,
if they give him a chance.
Yeah, Precious. I think he's 24.
Yeah.
Or he's going to be 24 or something like that.
He's only entering his third season now.
Yeah, I mean, I do see the point of having a guy like Garrett Temple where he knows he's not going to play a ton of minutes, and he's probably okay with that. It's veteran leadership. Teach these guys how to be pros. Period.
There we go. See, ladies and gentlemen, you do not understand this as a coach, right? You might not. I'm sorry to say if you don't. But when you have a roster of young studs, you are going to want a veteran that will come out of nowhere and be like, hey, man, and I'll say it on the show, shut the fuck up and relax. There's no need for you to be doing this on Instagram, okay? Get off of that. Stop it. Play the game, right? And Coach, I know you appreciate that from your teams, right? I'm pretty sure you've had it. I'm pretty sure that I've had it, and I've had to be that guy as well. But it's valuable, I believe. So, what I would say is when I grade Maxi Nowell, yeah, you know what? I like it just because he's like the same size as me. But and I enjoy it. I love watching ball like that and a good pass, which is what I've had to do. But the Garrett Temple, I will grade that pretty high as well. Just based on the veteran locker room factor, right? Knowing you're not going to get to play Hey, he's gonna be like, shit, I'm getting paid, and
Yep.
just relax, right? But coach, um, this completes the trilogy. This is Return of the Jedi. Uh, so before we get out of here, okay, do you have anything you want to say to anybody that follows you, anybody from the To the Point family? And yes, if you are watching, you are part of the To the Point family. Do you have anything to say, my friend?
Um, I think those who maybe watch the show, I think it'd be interesting if you do follow the 905 as well to go and watch some games this year or try to tune in on the internet or television, whoever's airing the games. Um, Marquis is exciting. There's nobody offensively like some of the passing that he can do. We haven't had like probably his type of passing for a long time at the point
Yeah,
guard position. I really can't think of who, because Lowry really wasn't that type of point guard. Fred wasn't. Um,
Damon
Calderon,
wasn't.
yeah, Calderon was more of like that
Oh
safe,
wait,
gonna
no,
make
skip
that
to my
right pass.
Lou.
Oh, okay. Okay. Ray Fralston was, kind of he had some flair to his game and stuff like that. So I think Marquis Nowell he's going to be exciting to watch. I'm rooting for him as well. Short king like myself.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I think going to some 905 games or tuning in a little bit more to see him play, to see how the guys actually develop around him too, because he does have a gift of getting guys open and getting guys, maybe in the right spot. So let's see. Hopefully, we get a bit more from the 905 this year.
wait, hold on. Him helping to develop the other guys. This is one thing we've been harping on about get, getting the younger talent developed within the system. And we did speak on this, ladies and gentlemen, last episode about Darko and the coaching staff, or the episode before, but them helping to develop and being developmental coaches. Maybe this kid can help develop the players, and with Temple coming in, helping to guide the young players. I think the Raptors made some great moves this offseason.
I do too. I am the first wave of moves of drafting Grady. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, we all
Um,
love Dick. Yo, he was jumping up a carrot Baron.
Oh, yeah. Uh, Goodness, who else? No, Schroeder, like
He'd be
him,
like
too.
you if you went by there and your wife. Anyway, no.
Um, Dennis Schroeder, tune in to watch, FIBA basketball. By the way, he played against Canada yesterday. Actually had a really good game against Canada. Um, you know, I'm sorry, McDaniels, who we spoke about as
Yep.
well. I'm really excited to see what Jalen McDaniels can do. I've been a fan of his game over the last year, 2 years, and I'm still shocked we got him for the amount in which we did. And I really hope that he's in the rotation. Like this is the first year in about 4 years I've been excited for the bench. Can't say that any other time.
Thank you. Thank you. You know me in the bench.
Because they have more options now too, with Grady, with Schroeder, with McDaniels, Otto's back, Precious,
Yes.
Koloko,
Malachi.
Boucher. Yep. And I don't know if I'm missing anybody else, but there's just more options. I think the bench too. Like I don't want Siakam playing 37 minutes a night. Guy's gonna wear down. I wanted them to bring in someone last year at the trade deadline to back up Fred, so he wouldn't wear down. They didn't. Um, so now they finally got a guy who's could start or be backup point guard.
Yep.
So Yeah, this is first time in 4 years I'm actually excited for the bench because the last few years, even 2 years ago when they won 48 games, it's amazing they actually won that many games, considering they were only like 7 or 8 deep then. And then last year, once they acquired Hurdle, they were maybe 7, 8, 9 deep, something like that. But now I'm seeing like 11 or 12 guys who could be in the rotation. Somebody is going to get lost with minutes, and it's going to be a pretty good player.
You know what? You nailed it, coach. You know what it's like when we're sitting on the when we're when we're sitting on the bench with the clipboard and we're just shooting the shit with some of the players that are sitting there and be like, okay, yeah, you're in. Let's go. Right?
Darko's got more options this year than
Oh
Nurse had
man, that's a
last year.
whole coach, that's a whole nother episode we can talk about. Starting lineup and the bench. Jeez. Okay. But
Let's do it.
yeah, let's do it. I'm
All
totally
right.
down. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. It's much appreciated. To the okay. You guys go down there, click subscribe, click like, hook a brother up. We appreciate you. Make sure you go check out our guests, especially the coach, all the way from the East Coast, Tim Roache.
I love
Um,
how that rhymes.
I coined that. I got to get that trademark.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for spending your time with us. We much appreciate it. It's nothing but love for you guys out there. So, on behalf of myself, the coach, Skip, Arturas, my guy.
Shout out to Arturas, man, doing the
Yeah.
work.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, and